So in the last problem, we were actually given the prop of a table to start out with our mixture problem, but this time we're going to be working without a net. So let's start working this one out ourselves and see how we will use some of those props to help us out. So let's see. We've got the owner of a delicatessen mixing coffee again. This time that costs $9 per pound with a coffee that costs $6 per pound. So we want to find out how many pounds of each were used to make a 20-pound blend to be sold at $7.80 per pound. Okay, so our model that we have to go to when it comes to a mixture problem like this is as follows. Our model will be, we want to find the amount in pounds, in this case, times the cost per pound. That's going to give us our value. Right? So this is our mixture model right here. A times C equals V, amount times cost per pound per amount is equal to the value of the total amount. So what have we got? Well, we've got two types of coffee. We've got a coffee one, right? And we know that the amount is going to be, well, we don't know how much, right? It's our amount. But we do know that its cost is $9 per pound, right? Okay, so we've got a second coffee that we're going to mix with it. And this particular coffee ends up costing us $6 per pound. Again, we don't know how much of it we're going to be adding. But we do know that the mixture, whatever we end up with, is going to be a total of 20 pounds. Well, that should help, right? Because we're actually being asked, how many pounds of each were used to make this? So if we're asked how many pounds of each were used to make this, well, then if we don't know the amounts, well, we're going to call one of them X. So let's say the amount of coffee number 1 is X pounds. How many pounds of coffee number 2? Well, whatever the number of pounds in coffee number 1, we're going to take 20 minus that to get the number of pounds of coffee number 2. So we're going to take A times C, and that's going to equal our value. So all right, now we've got enough to build our value right here using our model. So it's going to be 9x is the total amount that we're going to be spending at our $9 per pound coffee. We got $6 per pound for 20 minus x pounds, so that's 6 times 20 minus x. We don't worry about trying to get some sort of cost right here. There is no total cost. We know that the mixture itself is going to be $7.80 per pound. $7.80 per pound. So that means we're going to take a total of 20 times 780. Okay, so let's see. What should this work out to be? Well, just like before, we're going to take the total value of coffee number 1, add it to the total value of coffee number 2, and get our total value of 20 times 780. Well, let's do a little bit of work right here. 20 times 780. What is that? 20 times $7.80. If we wanted to work that one through, essentially you can think of it this way. 20 is 2 times 10. Right? So we're actually going to be taking 2 times 78 to be the same thing as 20 times 780. Now, if you need to work out the numbers, here's the way this one works. We can actually just look at this multiplication as $7.80 times 20. So our result is going to end up with 2 decimal points in it. We're going to take 0 because that's whatever is going to happen right here. 0, just 0 times 0, 0. 8 times 0, of course, 0, right, 0. So we take 0 times 2. 8 times 2 is 16. 7 times 2 is 14 plus 5, 15. And you'll see that when we add this together, 1, 5, 6, 0, 0. Add the 2 decimal points at the end, that's 156. Right, so that's our last multiplication right here. So let's work this out then. We're going to say 9x, our value for coffee number 1, plus 6 times 20 minus x, that's our total value for coffee number 2, will equal 156. Now we've got a nice problem that we can go through and solve for x. So let's do that. 9x plus 6 times 20, 120, minus 6x equals 156. That's our total value. Let's combine our like terms to get 3x. 9 minus 6 is 3x plus 120 equals 156. So we subtract 120 from both sides of this equation. We get 3x is equal to, let's see, 6, 3, 0, 136. So let's divide both sides by 3, and sure enough, we should get our solution pretty quickly. X is equal to 12. Well, what does that mean? Again, we need to put this in context of the problem. So you need to go back and say, well, what were we trying to answer? Well, we're saying how much of coffee number 1 should we get? At $9 a pound. Then at $9 per pound, we need to purchase 12 pounds. That's X pounds. At $6 per pound, we need to make sure that we are expressing this correctly. 20 minus 12 would be 8 pounds. So we need 8 pounds of $6 in our blend. That's going to give us a total of 12 plus 8, 20 pounds, which is exactly what we wanted. So this seems to be a decent answer.